So we're going to work on one today, one on Saturday, one next Thursday, and one next Saturday. So we'll be working on this one in particular, right here. Now we have these etched and cut out papers that we do with our laser machine. And we have them available on our website. If you haven't already purchased them, they're available there. Just look under let me bring it up, tell you. If you look on the home page, it will have a link to the e-pattern and it will have a link to the surface bundle. So you can just press one of those links. Another place to go is under the shop tab, scroll down till it says Erika's current class supplies. And you'll be able to find them there. And they come in a bundle of 4 different tags, all these 4 different tags. And they're reasonably priced, so ready for you if you want to order them. We have had some orders and we are sending them out as quickly as we can, guys. So if you haven't received yours yet, just know we're working on it. And we'll have the replays here so you can always go back in and watch the replay. We'll have these replays up for at least a year. They won't be up forever, but at least a year they'll be up on YouTube for you to go back and watch. Hey, Cheryl Bentley. Thank you. I'm glad you're here. So good to have you here. Okay, I'm used to working with Facebook, but felt the need to move over to YouTube and do some things here and channel on YouTube. My brother-in-law has been nudging me for the last couple years to go over to YouTube. So have a few nudges from people to do this, and so I'm finally kind of stepping into it. My toe is being put into this realm. So as I go along, I'll hopefully kind of upgrade my equipment and do that kind of thing as I go along. But to start, you got to start somewhere, right? So this is where we're at. My phone and my voice. Okay. So excited about this. This has been a long time coming. We've been planning this for a while, and so super excited. There is an e-pattern available for these. It includes the line drawings and the shading guides and all those kind of things, the supplies that you need, that kind of stuff. Hello, Beverly. How are you? So, the e-pattern's kind of nice to have. It's on our website. Just go to erikajoanne.com. And like I said, you can purchase these little gift tags and they're already pre-cut and pre-etched. But I'm going to do one on watercolor paper that I just transferred the design onto, so you can see how to do it that way in case, like, maybe some of you are international and just don't want to purchase or the tags, or just don't want to get started and don't have time. You just want to do it, right? So the weight of paper I have is 130, and this is cold pressed watercolor paper, which means it has like a little bit of texture on it. Cold press has texture. Hot press is smooth. So you want the cold press, you want a heavy weight. So I use 130. And I have a piece right here ready for me to trace. So I'm going to show you how to do that. We'll just kind of get started showing you how to trace in case you want to do it on your own without the pre-etched laser ones. So I'm waiting for my husband to get me the rest of the pattern. I went to go print this and it's like taking its time to print. There's always something. There's always a glitch. Today it's that. So we'll just pretend I have my pattern in front of me. I'm just going to trace this. I'll probably do it this way, like this. Trace it on like this. And the key to cutting out something like this is to have small, tiny scissors. Small, tiny scissors. It helps a lot. I probably could put those holes in there too. The holes, I suppose what you could do with the holes if you wanted to create these holes is just use a special hole punch. These holes are smaller than a regular hole punch, so, you know, all of you scrapbookers out there, you guys have punches to the yin yang, right? You have lots of punches, so just some kind of small hole punch will help with that. I'm just going to get myself started with larger scissors. Okay, I'll get my small little tiny scissors here. You want something like this, small little scissors. Makes it a lot easier to go around curves and that kind of thing. So get your outside line at least onto the paper and then carefully cut it out. And I'll show you how. When I get that paper from the printer, my husband's watching it. He's bringing them in as they print. It's just, I guess there's a lot of memory, and it's not printing very fast for me today. So my scissors aren't as sharp as I would like them to be. Let's keep working on it. I'll have to come back to that. Okay, well, keep. So if you have the pattern, you can trace it on with graphite paper. Gray graphite paper works really good. You want to use a very sharp stylus, and I'll show you what I'm talking about in a second. Let me get this cut out and then I'll show you, okay? And I will trace the rest on as soon as I get that pattern here. Okay. This is where you want small scissors, is going in these little areas. You don't want too much real estate on those scissors, so they can move around the little corners. Okay, almost done. How's everyone's Thursday going? As you come in, say hello. I would love to hear or see your names. If I see your names enough, then I start to memorize them. And I kind of like that. So come on in and say hello. Tell us how the weather is in your neck of the woods today. I have beautiful sunny skies here in the Pacific Northwest. We live near Seattle. We are actually across the water from Seattle. As a crow flies, not very far, but driving about an hour and a half or more, maybe, yeah. We live in a sleepy little town called Manchester, and it's right by the water, and you can go out and look across the water and see Seattle. And on a nice evening, it actually does have a green glow. Have you heard that? That Seattle is the Emerald City? There really is a nice green glow at night. It's kind of funny. So I'm going to wait and do these punches with a specialized hole punch. And as we're waiting for the rest of the line drawing to come out here, I'll chat with you guys about a few things. So I've been doing art for as long as I can remember, and I got started really understanding that there was something there, and I really enjoyed it in high school. That's where I kind of caught the vision that maybe there was something more I could do with my art. I went off to college, took a lot of art classes at college, and then went on and got married and started doing a little more like self teaching. I taught myself how to do certain things. I followed a lot of different artists. Hi there, Sandy from Florida. Well, glad you're here. How's Florida today? And so totally loved what I was learning, but I was still felt like so complexed about color. I just was running into the wall, hitting my head against the wall about color until a friend invited me over to do some decorative painting with her. And she had like a little group of friends, and they would get together like once a month. So I went over there, took the invite, went over there, and I worked on an apple slice. That was my first project, and started understanding through just learning from her that there's like a shade color, there's a highlight color, and there's a base color. And that started opening the door for understanding in how color work together. So that really helped me a lot. And then as I've grown as an artist, I've learned more things as I've gone along the way. There's so much to learn, right? So much. So yeah, that door to color really swung wide open for me as soon as I started doing decorative painting, because it really helped me understand the complexities and made them simple for me to understand. So now that I'm a designer, like, years and years later, and an artist, I have a business where we have 9 teachers around the country that teach locally, and they teach far away. Some of them have done seminar teaching where they've been flown in and teach at different places. So kind of exciting. I love to see that. I love to see other people grow in what they do too. So it's been fun to work with our teachers. I've had a little presence on Facebook since COVID, started doing that in COVID. And we now have an art subscription box that we do every year. And we have a VIP group. Our VIP group just opened up for membership. So if you're interested in something like that, please go check it out on our website. It is erikajoanne.com. Maybe one of you can put that link in the comments. I would love that if you did that for me. And if you're here for the first time and you haven't subscribed to our channel, please do. We're just a few away from 500. That's like the magic number to have 500 subscribers. So we're hoping to get to 500. Yeah, so that's me kind of in a nutshell, really quick me. I'm also an acrylic and color pencil artist. I like to combine the two. And today in our VIP group, we did a class this morning. And this is what we did. So this is kind of a companion piece to what we're going to be doing today. So if you're interested in the VIP group, I'll tell you what that's all about. VIP group, they get a 10% discount off of anything from our website, including the art subscription boxes, which is a really good deal. You get a significant amount off your art subscription box. They also have access to a library of videos and e-patterns that is growing. We'll continue to grow it. That was one of our projects this year. We do 4 live projects together, and the projects that I teach are going to be new and exclusive. So it's not something that you find on my website. It's going to be a new project in the VIP group. And then we'll keep those in the VIP group for a year exclusive, and then after the year, then we'll release them to the public. But the VIPs kind of get first stab at those 4 projects that we do together. So that's what we do in the VIP group. It's $175 for the year, and we're opening up the doors this month, and maybe we might have the doors open for another month. We'll see. We have 2 different price points, so you can pay right up front the $175, or you can do the payment plan. We have that too. And then it's just that one time, it's that fee, and then it lasts for the whole year. So you have access to all that stuff for a whole year. You also get a little behind the scenes look at what we do at Erika Joanne Art, and kind of the creative side of the business, what we do here. So that's what's going on there. I'm trying to think if there's anything else in the VIP group. So we got the the classes, the 4 classes, you got the 10% discount off of anything, including the art subscription boxes. You get the library of videos and e-patterns. And oh, there's like a little like a VIP store where you'll have exclusive access to some of the surfaces of the newer like these new patterns that I do. This one that I did today. This surface will only be available in the VIP group for the year. Yay, I got my line drawing. So in the e-pattern, you should, for this particular project, the Porch and Petal gift tags, you should get like a line drawing. This is actually the shading guide, but that's okay. We'll use it. We'll use it. Okay, so I just want to cut out my design here, and we're going to go ahead and transfer that right onto our watercolor paper, and I'll show you that step by step so you know how to do it. There are a few things you need for transferring. One, you need gray graphite paper. Let's put this over here. You need gray graphite paper. You need your line drawing, and you need like a nice pointy stylus. See how pointy that is? You want something nice and pointy. Now these styluses come in different sizes, right? And we actually sell a set of these, and they're like graduating sizes, but there is one that is nice and pointy. The other side is not as pointy. It's pretty pointy, but I like this side. So this is what I'm going to use to transfer my design. The reason why I like it nice and pointy is you get more clear, concise lines for when you're transferring. Also, let's see. Oh, if you didn't want to get a stylus, you could use like a ballpoint pen. I've seen people do that. Use a ballpoint pen. They'll use a colored ballpoint pen, and then they can see where they've cut out their lines. Grab this here. I'm going to grab my other scissors, and I'm going to cut this out so it's right up against the edge so I know where I'm putting my pattern. Get it right up against the edge. With the e-patterns, if you print out the pattern without scaling it, don't scale it or resize it on your computer, it should print out true to size. Okay, so I have the 2 pieces here. I'm going to tape them down. Now these gift tags, I think, would be so cute in different ways. Like I've heard making a banner of these gift tags. You can make little cards out of them. And I'm not opposed to you zooming up the pattern, maybe making bigger cards or other things out of it. I am totally fine with that. You can resize the pattern as you wish, small or large, whatever you wish. So go ahead and find, you need the darker side of your graphite paper facing down, okay? You can get graphite paper online or in an art supply store. I am going to be carrying graphite paper here real soon. I had a friend suggest that I do that, and I'm like, yeah, I do need to probably have that in my store too. So eventually I will get that in there, and you can purchase it there at your convenience if you need it. Okay, so I have my nice pointy stylus or a ballpoint pen, something, like small, okay? And we're going to go ahead and transfer all the details, all the lines. Just take your time, put a little pressure down, and do your best about transferring this. I'm just going to repeat myself. You can purchase these tags. They're laser cut and pre-etched for you, or you can put it on your own piece of watercolor paper. So whichever you prefer. I wanted to show you how to do this so that you can be successful at this. If you wanted to get started, I always tell people, just get started with what you have. Just try it out. And watercolor paper is not too expensive. It's not a big investment. If you mess up, you just think it's just a piece of watercolor paper. I'm okay. So the beauty of taping it down, I just use the blue painter's tape, is you can lift it up and see where you're at. Okay, and keep going here. All the details. I'm so excited about doing this series with you guys. Oh, so excited. I'm hoping, I'm crossing my fingers. I really want to do a Halloween series of these gift tags too. I have a lot going on right now, so I'm like trying to make sure I can actually do it. But I do want to do that. So you guys all cross your fingers for me and pray for me that I can maybe get that into, because I will offer those on YouTube. Okay, let's see where we're at. Oh, good, it's coming along. Okay, I'm really glad that I cut it out to size, because that's getting it on there correctly. Another thing people will do if they have like a complex design is they'll actually take tracing paper and trace the whole design onto tracing paper first, and then they'll transfer it from there. But I don't know, if you're like me, if I trace this, I might not get it all right. So that's why I usually just cut out the design and trace it from there. Sometimes I don't trace it exactly how it is. Okay. I think I got it on there. You could put the little seeds on. All right. Lovely. Okay, I love it. I have a friend, her name is Sarah, and she's from Serenity Crafts. I think that's what it's called. Sarah, am I correct? And she does a YouTube channel. So if you haven't seen her yet, you got to go check her out. Serenity Crafts here on YouTube. Go check her out. Sarah. She's amazing. And she just loves to just delve into all different kinds of crafts. And so she'll do kind of like do a season of like maybe crochet, or a season of, she's been working with our stuff, Erika Joanne art, or a season of mosaics. So I love it. And she shares her experience with the crafts that she does. So you can take that off. You've got your design on there beautifully. Nice, nice. The key is those pointed styluses. I'm telling you, need a pointed stylus. Carefully pull off the blue tape, because you could rip your watercolor paper if you're not careful about it. Okay, so this is what we're doing today. I wanted to kind of replicate the look of watercolor. I am using Jo Sonja paints. That's what I use. And they make, it's acrylic, but it's similar to watercolor gouache. So watercolor gouache is an opaque watercolor. It's very similar to that. It has properties similar. So I wanted to see if I couldn't kind of make something look like it's been done with watercolor, but with this Jo Sonja line of paints. So I'm going to water them down. I'm going to water the paints down and get them like watercolor washy. And then we'll go ahead and put the colors in. And I'll show you a little technique I have for kind of creating that watercolor look. So let's go ahead and get your palette out. You'll want something like this. This is Gray Matters. I'll show you what it looks like. It looks like this. Gray Matters paper palette. It's just a little palette. I don't use a lot of paint sometimes for my projects. Some projects do, some projects don't, but I usually don't use too much paint. So I like this little palette. You could also use a wet palette. I'll have to do a whole nother segment on wet palettes. If you don't know what that is, I'll have to do something later on that. But so I'm going to put my paint down here, and I'm going to put that down first before we start painting. We've got 7 colors, so I'm going to put those down first. You only need a little bit of each because we are going to be watering them down and just using a touch. So our first color is Amethyst, and this is the Jo Sonja paint line, just so you know, that's Amethyst. Okay, I'm just gonna put a tiny touch on my palette because, like I said, we're just doing one tag right now, right? So we don't need a lot. Bisque is the next color. This is Bisque. Little touch, just a little chocolate chip. Next color is Carbon Black. Yeah, I recommend putting your paints out before we get started if you can. It does make it a little easier in class to have those paint colors already out and ready. And I like to kind of do all this with you in class because I have to do it myself anyway, so might as well do it with you too. Okay, Celadon. This is that color, Celadon. Someone was asking about this color. What did you say? Let me go back because I just caught it really briefly. See if I can find your comment. Well, let's see, am I even plugged in? Looks like I am. It's not coming up. Oh, there we go. Okay. Check out your comment here. Let's see. Oh, I have to sign in and all that stuff. Okay, never mind. I'm making it so hard for me. I don't know. Maybe I could get it on. Goodness. Okay, there we go. Oh. Latest. It's not really showing it. Okay. Well, if you repeat that question, that would be great. Then maybe I'll see it on here. I see your comments very briefly. So it like appears on my screen very briefly. I'm still getting used to YouTube, you guys. Thank you, Charmaine. I saw your little comment. Thank you. So Celadon, you know, you can see this color. It's kind of a greenish blue, a little more green than blue. Okay, Alice, thank you. So you're wondering, like, what is a good substitute? I'm not familiar with the other lines of paint, so I can't really give you help in that way. And I don't have those colors here anyway. So as far as I can think, I would say like Aqua, Jo Sonja Aqua. It's kind of a bright color, but if you tone it down, you could probably come closer to Celadon. So I'm trying to think of what you could tone it down. Maybe some pine green. Tone it down with pine green. Okay, now we need rose pink. That's this color. Rose pink. Yeah, try aqua. With some, I would just put a touch of pine green because I'm going to show you the two colors together. Let's see here. find it. I'm not seeing it. All the paint I have and I don't see it. So, okay. Scratch that thought. All right, so rose pink. Next color is pine green. And then Turner's yellow. Pine green. And Turner's yellow. Here we go. Turner's yellow. So this is enough paint to do multiples for sure. The first color we're going to use is Turner's yellow, and we're not going to really water that down too much because we can have it almost full strength. But I'm going to pull the color down from my chocolate chip of Turner's yellow and add a little water to it. There's enough there to make the paint move. So I want it fairly strong in color though, because we're going to be putting glitter over that later, and I really want to be able to see it. The yellow goes on the inside, and I have a number 3. This is a number 3. This is a Jo Sonja also. Select round. We do have these available on our website if you are interested, but if you are just trying to try it out and you want to see what happens with it, if you have a small round, use that. Use what you have, okay? Go ahead and use a small round. We're just going to paint this yellow on the inside of these petals. Use what you have and try it out. You can always invest in this stuff later if it's something that you find very enjoyable and you want to do more. You can always invest. Okay, get those on, and you're just coloring in the yellow petals. Now this simple project is not going to last very long, but it will be fun. Okay, I'm turning my page over. And what do we have next? We have, looking for the instructions. Here we go. We have rose pink. So I'm going to skip around on the colors because I don't want to be next to colors that are wet. Let's see if I can pull this in closer so you can see better. Okay, so the next one is rose pink. Now this time we're going to really water this down, and I recommend that you have some little tester strips. Let me just see if I can get you on camera here. Here's a tester strip. This is watercolor paper just cut into a strip, and you can use it to test your color before you go to your piece. So it's pretty crucial that we get this the right color. So I'm going to pull this down a little bit and create a new puddle. And I really want to water it down. So I'm adding more water. I want it to be kind of a salmon pinky color. And I'm doing this on my tester strip, and I can see, I like that. That looks good. Okay. You can always go in darker, but it's harder to go lighter. So try to get the color right. Just take a little time. Don't be afraid to add water to your color. Water it down. Okay. So we're going to take that rose pink. Now, when I load my brush, let me show you this too. When I load my brush, sometimes there's so much moisture there that it's a little too much for my piece. So I want to have a piece of like paper towel right near me. Let's show you. And just take out some of the moisture on a paper towel like that. You still have the color in your brush. You've just taken out some of that excess moisture if it's too much. You'll know when you get on your piece. So right now, yeah, not too bad. I like that. It's not, if it's bubbling up with moisture, you can just tap your brush on a paper towel. Okay, now when I fill this in, I'm going to leave some little open spots. I'm not going to totally cover in all the background of this strawberry. See how I'm leaving little open spots? A few little here and there. Try not to cover it all. See, I have a few little open spots there. And then just wash in the rest of the strawberry. Okay, little delicate moves here. So maybe a few little open spots on this one too, and then color around them. We want our color to go on variegated so that it's darker in some areas and lighter in others, and then we have a few little open spots. That's what I think of when I think of watercolor. I think it's like that. It's darker in some areas, lighter in others, and then you have some white areas. So I'm going to go back in with a little more color, just add some here and there just to kind of create that variegation. Okay, and then let that dry. Rinse out your brush, wipe it on a paper towel, take out the excess moisture, and then we're going to move on to the next color, which is celadon. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that right. I hope I am. But it's Celadon, or Celadon. Yeah, that's it. Okay, celadon. We're going to do the petals. Now that our yellow has dried, we're going to move over to our petals. We're going to take some of this color here. This is the color we're working with. Pull it down. Don't be afraid to dig into your paint puddle. Just dig in and add some water to that. Okay, gonna water it down really good. Grab our little tester sheet, grab that, put some paint on it. Look at the color. Is it too dark? Is it too light? What is it? I think that's right. Okay, so that's what I'm looking for. I'm gonna go back to my piece and I'm gonna work on these outer petals. So same thing, we want to use our brush to create some open spots. So just, it's random. Every time you do this, it's going to be a little different because your spots are going to be random. Just here and there. Like so. Okay. Now, if I feel like that's too dark, I could always go in with my brush. I could rinse it out. There's a few ways you could do this. You could rinse out your brush and take out the excess moisture and go back to your piece and just kind of pull up some of that paint. That's one way you can do that. You can kind of lighten up the color a little bit. Or you can take your paper towel and just press it over. I'll show you what happens if you do that. You can just take a piece of paper towel, press it over, and there you go. It's lighter. As long as your piece is still wet, you can do that. Okay, create some open spots here and there. There we go. Have fun. Just move around and work on each petal that way. A few little random open spots. And voila. So enjoy doing this. Now, sometimes you get a little bubble of water on your ferrule. This is called the metal ferrule. Sometimes when you put your brush into the water, it creates this little water bubble. Now the problem with that is as you're working vertically with your brush, what's going to happen with that little drip of water? It could just run down your brush and right onto your piece and create a mess. So you want to, if you see that, you want to just go over to your paper towel and take that water off. This is a way of saying no. No to the water bubble. I don't want it. Right. You can see this is just very delicate. Just a delicate way of painting and actually kind of relaxing. I love it. A few little open spots here and there. Moving on around like so. We need to have a giveaway today. I would like to do that. So, trying to think how I can do that. My husband maybe be able to help me. He could help me by choosing a winner. The winner will receive an e-pattern of their choice from our website, and you'll need to contact us with your email, and we can send it right off to you. So your choice of e-pattern on our website. So go to our website. It's erikajoanne.com and choose an e-pattern if you're the winner and contact us because I have so much on my plate. You contact me and I will make sure and get that e-pattern off to you by email. I just need your email. Okay. All right, so I'm going to go back in and just darken up a few, like I'm going to just add splashes of paint here and there just to kind of create some variegation. It's just here and there. There and there. Little splashes of color on those petals. If you maybe put too many open spots in, you can cover some. Like if you feel like it's too busy, you could like cover a few up so it's not so busy. Okay. Very nice. That's so fun. Okay, our next color is pine green. So if I can get my husband's attention, if he's listening on the other end, because I can't see your comments. I love that, but I am not seeing a way. Maybe, afraid to press buttons. But we will choose you as a winner. We will choose sometime. It will either be in this broadcast or we'll choose it after the broadcast, whatever works best. If my husband's online, though, maybe he can choose a winner and he can announce it here. That would be great. Sometimes he gets on and off, so I don't know if he's on right now. So Charmaine says Celadon is more blue than green. That's good to know. Okay, I just got my pine green color, which is this color right here. Pine green. Thank you, Diane and Sharon. Hello, hello. So, yeah, pine green. That's the color. You want to water that down. It's such a pretty green, especially when it's watered down. So pretty. Let me show you. Isn't that awesome? Okay, So back to our piece. Let's do our leaves with the pine green. Same technique. Leave a few little open spots. Hello, Karen. How are you? A few little open spots. Here and there. And it can be so random. Like I said, if you do a second one of these, you're not going to be the same. They're all going to be a little different. Okay, I think I got it. It's enough, maybe too much. I'm going to tone it down a little bit. Okay. You know what? I put on all those colors and I forgot that we don't like use all of them. We're not using them all. Some of those colors go to other tags. So sorry about that. Hopefully you didn't put too much paint out for yourself. Okay, so we are missing a couple more colors and I forgot to do the red up there. So we want to do our rose pink. Just go back to your rose pink petal and you can just fill that in with rose pink right in the middle. Yes, very quick. I love it. That's what I love about them, Alice. They're just joyful. It just makes me happy. Okay, another thing we need to do is the green on the strawberries. So let's get those done. Just pull from your pine green petal and try to leave just a few little tiny open spots there on your strawberry leaves. Maybe here and there. Okay. Well, I haven't heard from my husband yet, so he must not be on. I'm going to take some of the color off of this one. So we'll have to choose one probably at the end of the broadcast, because if I could see your comments, then I'd be able to choose someone, but I don't see him. Oh, there he is. Hey, could you go and on your own computer get on to the YouTube broadcast and choose a winner of our e-pattern
Just people
prize?
People that have done.
Yeah, the people that have commented.
Okay.
Just choose a winner and then you can comment who the winner is.
Okay.
Thank you.
Figure it out.
Yay!
Also, on your phone, if you long press,
Uh-huh.
and it comes up and it will lock your focus onto your piece, so that when every time your finger goes under there, it doesn't focus on your finger.
Oh, really? Okay, that's good to know.
Try that
Yes. Long press?
on the screen.
Okay. I'm learning so
That's
much.
what it says works. I don't know for sure.
Ah! Hi, thank you. Thank you. I'm so glad to be here. It's fun. So fun. I love it. I miss you guys. I really do. And being on YouTube, I mean, this has been kind of scaring me for years. So I'm finally doing it. Finally putting my foot out there. I'll get it, right? Very watercolor. Yes, I love it. Don't you? So easy. So Valerie says, why the open spots? What do they signify? The open spots makes it look to me, to my artist's eye, more like it's a watercolor piece. So that's how that all came about. It's just kind of my thought process. I feel like it looks more watercolory. Thank you, Alice. You have come such a long way from doing your lives. Oh, yeah, way back. Oh my goodness. You know, my sister taught me this. My younger sister. Can you believe it? My younger sister taught me something. What she said to me kind of changed my perspective. And she said, whenever you do something, you're never going to go in perfect. You're always going to have to start somewhere and then grow. And so, even with starting a business or anything that you put your heart out to do, it's just best to put your foot out there and start. And then you refine it and make it better as you go along because you learn, right? Like today, I'm learning a lot. It's scary. It's not, it's not a comfortable place for me to be doing something new where I don't quite understand what the heck I'm doing. But that's kind of a principle that I needed to learn from my younger sister. And I'm so glad she told me that. You start out and you grow as you go and you get better. So when I started doing lives was way back in COVID, I just felt the need to get on and kind of, I don't know, get on with my painting friends and say hello. Because a lot of us would see each other at the conventions. We come from all different walks of life, all different places of the country. And that was our place to connect. Well, that was taken away because of COVID. During that time, I knew I wanted to connect with them, and that was something I did was I finally got the nerve to jump on and try. And yeah, it was rough. My first videos are pretty rough, but I've gotten better, I feel. I have a lot more room to grow for sure, but you got to start somewhere. And it's the same with painting. You start, and as you practice, you get better and better. And then you might surprise yourself. You might really give yourself a gift of surprise. So, anyway, I'm glad you're here. Glad you're here. Oh, the winner is Sharon Kaminsky. Okay, Sharon, send us an email. Send us an email. You can email me and send me your email, and I will send you your favorite e-pattern from our e-pattern, our digital e-pattern page. So go on there, check out what maybe might be your favorite. Maybe you find something there. I hope so. It's on our webpage. And congratulations, Kaminsky. Yes, Sharon. Congratulations, Sharon. Okay. All right. Now we've got that all done, except for we have more amethyst to do. Let's do this. I'm just taking my time today. I'm having fun. I'm having fun chatting with you. Okay, so amethyst, that's that really pretty purple color. You want to water that down. And we'll go ahead and put that in. A few little white spots, remember. A few little white spots. To me, it makes it look more watercolory. Just gives it a little extra punch into the watercolor realm. So, okay, got that on. Nice, nice, nice. Now, if you need to go back in and just brighten something up with a little more color, or you know how I talked about variegation, you could add a little more red here and there to make it. Watercolor has variegation to it. Like it kind of is light in some areas and dark in others. So you can do that now. And then once it's dry, we'll start in with the colored pencil. Now I had talked about I'm a color pencil acrylic artist. I like to use both mediums because I feel like I get the best of both worlds. Color pencil where I want more control. Paint, I can cover things a lot faster. So I'm going to use this Kelly green, and I want to make sure my pencil's nice and sharp. And we're going to just put in all these little stem lines with our pencil. Isn't that better than using a brush? I think so. So go ahead and take your sharp pencil. Now, if you're using the etched piece, if you're using the etched one, you would just follow this etched section. Let's see if I can get it so it's not so, there we go, not so blurry. So you just follow the etch line. Since we're just using the line drawing, we're just going to follow the line drawing. And I'm going to put a little more pressure of my pencil up by the flower. Okay. And then as I come down, I'm going to lighten my pressure. I want my line to be nice and thin. That's why I'm using a sharp pencil. But I'm going to go even thinner and then bring it down and then maybe thicken up the line again. So again, you got a little bit of that variegation going on. See how I have it thicker up here, thinner, and then thicker. Okay. And then let's go ahead and do the other little flourishes. So this would be thicker right at the end. And then thin. Come around, less pressure. And then you can kind of thicken it up as it comes to meet with the other stem. Okay. I'm going to sharpen my pencil again and keep that puppy sharp. Okay, as I do the strawberry stems, just pull that off. You can go slow and carefully do this. Now you might get some little crumbs on your piece and oops, sorry. You can always wipe those away. Make sure everything's dry. Wipe them away with a soft brush. I call it a duster brush. Okay, now I'm going to go do this little swirl here. I want it thicker. Some more pressure there. Thinner in this area. And then thicker again. Oops. I put a little too much pressure on and my pencil broke. So, and sometimes that happens, and sometimes it leaves little crumbs. That crumb, I don't know that I can get that off because it was kind of in the middle of my pressure. So that's how it goes sometimes. You can always splatter the piece and it'll look just like new. Okay, so maybe want to thicken this line up too, I think. Okay, all right, got that done. I'm going to pull it out a little bit more so you can see the whole piece. Okay, the next pencil is light umber. These pencils are Prismacolor Premier. They're a soft core. They have a waxy core. It's not oil, it's wax. And it's really soft. And actually the middle of your pencil is very, this core is very fragile because it is so soft. So you want to be careful in the handling of your pencils so that you don't break the waxy core on the inside. Have you ever sharpened a pencil and have the tip just fall out? It's because it's broken on the inside. So you want to be careful with that. We're going to use this pencil to do a little bit of shading. I am very conservative with my shading. So you can see it's not much darker. There's a little bit more darkness right in here. See in the base of our leaves. I'm going to put some shading there just to kind of clarify the design a little better. But I'm going to be conservative about it. So I want to sharpen my pencil nice and sharp. Let's go in and first we're going to darken up the ends of our little flourishes. Okay. And we've got one down here too. Just darken that up. And right here. Okay. Okay. Now I can maybe darken it up right here too. It's a good place. Thank you, Peggy. I know it really changed my whole perspective. And I try to tell everyone that. It's like you just got to start. You know, it applies for almost anything we do in life. You just got to start. You can't have it perfect to begin with. You grow and perfect it as you go. Okay. Sometimes if you want it perfect, you'll never start. And that's the tragedy, right? What if I had that attitude? What if I just decided I am never going to do this and be perfect at it, so I'm just not even going to try. Okay, so now we're going to do some shading, and we'll start here in the bigger flower. So let's go ahead and line around the middle, the very center. Let's line around that first. And we can also slightly line around the large area. I didn't go all the way around, just somewhat. Okay, I'm going to do some shading down in this area. I'm going to avoid the white spots. Well, hi, Catherine. Oh, Kathy. It's Kathy. Coming in late. Yay. I'm glad you're here. Okay, so for shading, let me explain that first before I get into the shading. So for my shading, I think in terms of 3 different values, and I'll just show you right here. So if I was going to shade against this line, I'm going to use a little more pressure for my darker value. And then I want the values to lighten up as it gradually goes across and fade to nothing, okay? So I would start out with my darker value, that's a little more pressure. See how dark that is. And then as I move into my medium value, I want it to be less pressure, right? I want it to blend into my darker value and then gradually start fading. That's my medium value. And then I'll go into my light value, which is a feather touch. I'm just barely touching the surface. I'm using little tiny circles and overlapping them. You want to be tight with that, tight little circles. Let that color overlap, and then as you go out, continue to put less and less pressure on it so it fades into the background. You want everything to blend into each other. So if you see that line, like that dark line that I started with, you want that to that line to disappear and blend. Okay, so there is some shading. I'll do that again. So here's my dark value. It's dark, medium, light. Think of dark, medium, light, 3 different values. Dark value, that's dark. Moving into my medium value, I'm using small circles that are overlapping each other. And I want it to blend into that dark value so the dark value, that line of it, disappears. Now I'm moving into my light value. A feather touch with your pencil. Your pencil, the Prismacolor pencils are so pigmented and soft. You will love them. If you haven't used them before, give it a try. Some of you probably have Prismacolor pencils in your stash that you've never used. I challenge you, get them out. Try it. Okay, I'm blending everything. I want it to look like a float of color. And then I want it to fade. Okay, that's how I do my shading. Now, sometimes, since we're working on a small piece, we're going to have a small little area that we're going to shade in. Okay, let's say I was doing a little teardrop and I wanted to shade the bottom of that teardrop. So my dark value is going to be just tiny, tiny, tiny. Medium value, tiny. Light value, tiny. Okay, so it goes a lot quicker. Okay, all right, so with this piece, let's start out in this purple area at the bottom. So our darkest value will probably be that little line that we put around. That's our dark value. We'll move into the medium value, just little tiny circles. move around the white spots, kind of work around them, and then go into your light value. See how quick that is? Super soft pencil work. And then just kind of blend it all together. Okay. All right, that's your shading with the colored pencil. We're not going to worry about shading this pink area. Now we're going to move out to the yellow. We don't do any shading on the yellow, but we do need to do some shading on the celadon color. So I'm going to work kind of at the base of each petal. And that's my dark value right in there. And then as I kind of pull it down, just light, 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 and do my medium and light value pretty quickly. But see how much clarification that brings to that petal. So we'll just move this around, do every petal that way. Dark value right next to the center. Move it down. Okay. Keep going around. And you can work around the white spots. Kind of leave them there. They're kind of nice. One thing I noticed about watercolor is sometimes there's enough white spots that it kind of makes you use your imagination to imagine the rest of the line, right? Kind of challenges you. Imagine they don't always put everything in. They let you use your imagination. So it is nice to have a few little white spots do that for you. Okay, that's enough. Plenty. Okay, we're going to move into our strawberries. I'm just going to choose a few of my little strawberry leaves to accentuate. And the dark value is the line, medium value, and then light value. Goes very quickly. Medium value and light value. Just choose a couple of those leaves to shade. You don't need to do them all. Maybe put a little bit of line work around some of them, but you can leave it pretty good. So okay, let's work on this one. I'm just gonna do shading on this leaf. That's it. That's my dark value, medium value, light value. And then maybe a little bit of line work around some of the other leaves. Okay, sharpen my pencil again. Now going into the strawberry, I want to shade kind of the bottom edge of that strawberry. So this is my line I'm putting around it, and I'm going to use that as my dark value. Going into my medium value, little tiny circles that overlap, work around the white spots, come up into the strawberry just slightly. Pretty quick. You want to overdo it. Do the same with the other strawberry. I'm a whimsical artist, and I don't really like too many rules, but there are a few rules that you have to go by. With penciling, especially my type of penciling, you want to use a sharp pencil. Now, not all color pencil artists use a sharp pencil, and that's totally fine. That's their style. But for what I do, I use a sharp pencil because I typically work over watercolor paper that is cold pressed and it has texture to it. And it's hard to work over watercolor paper that's cold pressed with a dull pencil. It's kind of, you're not going to get the same kind of clarity that I'm looking for. So, Okay, I did my shading at the bottom of the strawberries. Now I'm going to add my little seeds, and that's just little tiny lines here and there. It's probably good enough. Little lines here. Okay. Cute. Fun. Okay. Now we're moving over to the leaves. Let's shade the bottom or base of each leaf. We need to add our vein line, so I'm going to add that in there. And then you want to add the shading at the bottom. Bring it up. That's my dark value right in here. Medium value, and then up into the light value. So fun. Isn't that awesome? Okay, let's do the other one. Our vein line, the shading, dark value, medium value, working around my white spots, and light value, letting it fade. Now I'm going fairly slow with you guys today because probably some of you are new to my technique. There are a few of you that aren't. You know what I do. You get it. But there are some of you that aren't. And I really want to help you with that so that you can be successful. That is our tag as far as paint and color pencils go. I'm going to show you how to put some glitter on and a little rhinestone to finish it off. Now, like I said, I'd probably want to take a small hole punch and punch these later. So if you have a small hole punch in your stash, that would be perfect to use on this little tag. You also need a little punch right up in here. So you need a little hole up here for your string, right? Okay. All right, so normally I would put on some of my other pieces. I put on Fast Drying Glaze Medium, which is a medium by Jo Sonja. It's actually a very light sealer. And I would normally put that on and then let that dry, and then I would go in with varnish and put varnish on. I'm going to kind of skip those steps today because they're a little time consuming. It takes a while for it to dry, that kind of thing. So I'm going to skip that today. But we're just going to go straight into the glitter and the rhinestone, and then maybe one of our tags, I will show you how to do the Fast Drying Glaze Medium and the varnish, so you can kind of see what that's all about. It basically sets your pencil and your paint, and then puts a nice little barrier so that if it's something that you want to last for a long time, like something to hand down to your children, then you'd probably want to do the sealing and the varnishing. But for now, we're just going to do the glitter. So you'll want a product called All-Purpose Sealer. Gotta find mine here. It comes in smaller bottles. This is a smaller bottle. These are 2-ounce bottles. And then it comes in an 8-ounce bottle. So you can get it multiple sizes. I do have these available on our website. So All-Purpose Sealer. This works so good as your glue for glitter. So just put a little bit of that in. I use these little like salt dishes for my mediums. Put my medium in there. You're going to take your round brush like that, and you're going to put it over your yellow leaves. Now, if you don't want to put it on yellow leaves, or you don't want to even put glitter on, maybe you're not even a glitter person, that's fine. You don't have to do this. You can skip this step. Or you could put it on different items. You could put it on your strawberries. It's just up to you. I just like doing the yellow areas. So that's what I did with this tag. So you can put it on, fairly generous. You can basically see it. This dries clear, and you have control over where you want that glitter. Now I'm going to try and find my glitter here. It is hiding from me. So if you're a regular viewer, you know that sometimes I have gremlins in my studio and I don't know what happens to all my stuff. It disappears. So I might use a different glitter, a different color. You can use the Opaline glitter, which is what I recommended in the pattern, it's just like a clear glitter. Goodness, I don't know what happened to it. The little gremlins came in last night and stole my glitter. Okay, we'll find something else. We'll use gold. So I have these little glitter shakers, and I love them. So you can go on our website for those too if you want them. But just put your glitter down, just shake it on. Okay, and then shake it around, get it on there good. And then take it off. So you get glitter effects going on. Love it. Any kind of glitter, just love it. Okay, and then let's put a little rhinestone. So our original piece, see, I use the other glitter. I use the Opaline glitter, the stuff that my gremlins got. I don't know where it's at. So anyway, we'll put the little rhinestone in. Now with the rhinestones, I use a PVA glue, and PVA glue is an artist glue that artists use because it dries clear, it's flexible, and it's archival. And so I'm going to put a little bit of that on my palette. I don't need a lot because I'm just going to take my stylus and grab it out of the bottle because I only need a little bit. So you just need some glue. Use what you have. I use the PVA glue because I also use it for gluing my watercolor pieces to wood. So that's a whole different story. We'll delve into that later. Okay, now I need a rhinestone, right? And I have my little lucky jar of rhinestones. This was my mom's jar. She passed away a few years ago. So I found this little jar and I thought it was adorable. So it's in my studio, means that she's with me. Okay, so I have all these rhinestones. I'm not sure what color I want. Let's see what I have here. There's gold. There's a clear one. There's kind of a bluish one. That's a little big though. I like this one right here. Okay, and I'm gonna just grab my rhinestone picker-upper and pick it up. So just pick it up, put it over on your piece, like so. Easy peasy. You let that dry. Like I said, PVA glue dries clear. You won't even see the hints of that glue later because it will dry clear. And then I'll put these back in my little happy jar. I wonder what this was. It must have been some kind of moisturizer or something that my mom used. I don't even know what the brand is. Do you know what that is? I don't know. It's kind of scratched off. But it was so pretty. Such a pretty blue jar. So, yep. I'm gonna move this off here. Okay. I think I think I like this glitter better than this glitter. But, you know, I used what I had, right? I used what I had. So use what you have. Have fun with it, you guys. Saturday, we'll get back together and we'll do the next tag. I'm just going to do this every week for a little while. This is our next tag. So this is a little more detailed. This is our little house. It has flowers coming out of the window. I will make sure I have my glitter next time. I will be more prepared. So this will be fun. You'll enjoy this. For those of you that haven't done this tag yet, like start with this one. If you've never done paint and pencil before, do this one first. So you kind of get a feel for it. It's a simpler design. Do this and then come over and do this with me on Saturday. Okay. I'm going to be on 1 p.m. Pacific time. Okay. 1 p.m. Pacific time. Do your figuring out where that is in your side of the country. And yeah, be there. Same channel. And congratulations to our winner today. And I'll get that off, your favorite e-pattern off to you as soon as I can. And thank you for joining me and being here to support me on my first debut of YouTube. See you next time.